Political parties very happy with themselves for actually passing this law, but is it more of a self-congratulatory exercise? Renuka Chaudhary of the Congress Party, Member of Parliament of the Rajya Sabha, Meenakshi Lekhi, Mahila Morcha National Vice President of the BJP, Derek O'Brien, Chief Whip and Member of Parliament of the TMC, Vrinda Grover, well-known human rights activist, Abha Singh is a senior advocate and social activist. This debate will continue and we'll be joined by Ranjana Kumari and Shazia Elmi. Bottom line is this. Renuka Chaudhary, that political parties are very smug and happy with themselves that they've got this through. But then the question people will ask is, what have you got through? A highly diluted, probably ineffective, extremely compromised piece of legislation.
Well, that's a whole new take on the issue. That's how you're seeing it, because I think the law that is coming in, the bill that is coming in on its own is actually quite delayed, and I'm glad that it's coming. Now, there's always scope for debate and discussion. So what do you mean that it will not be effective? You can't just sweepingly reject everything right now, even if it is for a TV debate. It's ridiculous. This law coming in is brilliant. We need it. Yes, I would have wished if there were other things, if stalking and voyeurism would be taken more cognizance of. But obviously, the people's representatives are not prepared, because it is a reflection of the society they're coming from and they're evolving from. So we need to carry them. You can't be dismissive.
No, I'm not being dismissive. I'm only saying, as you admit yourself, okay, Vrinda Grover raises her hand out there. Yes, Vrinda, your point of view. I think you got the question. Why don't you come in, please? Vrinda Grover.
Yes, Arnab, I just want to make one point. Yeah. Yes, there are some areas where we would have wanted the law to be stronger, the offences to be well defined. However, for the media to only focus on those aspects and not to say that actually we are getting into the law offences that we have been asking for 30 years. Acid attack, disrobing or parading a woman naked in public, a police official not registering an FIR is a penal offence now. If the new bill is passed, mandatory for medical establishments to provide first aid and medical treatment to survivors of acid attack and sexual assault, stalking and voyeurism at least being recognized as offences, and penetrative sexual assault or rape being expanded. These are steps forward. We realize that parliamentary democracy is going to be a business where women who suffer serious prejudice, which reflects itself in the parliament, is not going to, revolution for women is not going to come through parliamentary democracy.
But why can't we expect?
There are steps forward we have taken.
Ms. Grover, sorry to sound extremely cynical, as Renuka Chaudhary would tell me, but this ordinance was welcomed by a large section for finally keeping with the times. The ordinance, not what's being passed now, and accepting that different kinds of sexual harassment that women face, like stalking and voyeurism. Today, those provisions see no consensus in the cabinet, no consensus among political parties. So, political parties have reneged on their commitment to the people of this country. To have a law that not just takes care of, yes, Renuka Chaudhary, you'll disagree with me, but let's get Meenakshi Lekhi in. Meenakshi Lekhi, that you have agreed among themselves is one thing, but you've gone back on the commitment you made to women of India in December.
You see, the entire commitment to women in India was to tighten up the rape laws, to deliver when it comes to rape cases in the court, and to set up a few things. And there are certain areas where I would have wanted a few things to be incorporated. For example, Criminal Justice Injury Board, and I don't see any sign of it, but let's see what finally gets drafted tomorrow, and one can take a way forward from there. But as Vrinda said, so many things have been incorporated, and people in the country, and especially the political parties, have decided to come on the same table and discuss this law. I think it's a victory of the sort. not for the democratic
What
polity
is
of the
victory of
country.
sorts?
Allow
No,
me.
sorry, Meenakshi.
And voyeurism.
No, no,
Allow me.
what is victory of sorts?
Arnab,
No,
allow
one
me
second.
one line. Allow me one line.
Meenakshi,
I'll tell
there
you
is no
victory of
conviction
sorts.
in what
I'll
you're
tell you
saying.
victory of
You are not
what
convinced about what you're saying.
No,
You are not.
There is. I am absolutely convinced, but you have to allow me a little time without interruption. And that is that voyeurism is a recognized crime under IT Act. And so far as stalking is concerned, I can tell you that under say local police laws, I mean say Delhi police.
Well,
Act,
no. One
stalking
second.
covered.
One second.
And so far as
Meenakshi,
you see, there are things
Meenakshi,
available. One can use it, and lawyers have the ingenuity to use it.
No.
And so far as the third part was concerned, parading a woman naked, I think Madhya Pradesh law is a very, very good law, which
Meenakshi
gives a
Lekhi.
punishment of 10 years.
Meenakshi, there is an absence of conviction today in what you're saying. Actually, there's an audio problem with your mic. I'm going to correct that. I find an absence of conviction. The bottom line is, Derek O'Brien, that political parties are not comfortable in talking about stalking and voyeurism. The only consensus I find today is that political parties are cagey about voyeurism and stalking, despite the fact that there were safeguards for both.
Well, Arnav, if you've jumped to that conclusion, what do I say? This is a serious business of legislation, and this will take time. But the Congress has an old tradition of legislate in haste and repent in leisure. I can give you at least two examples. One was TADA, which was in the early 90s. The other was the Special Security Group, the SPG. That also, when they first made that law in haste, they made it only for the late, at that time not late, but Rajiv Gandhi. Then
One second.
Unfortunate.
No, don't make it political. No, don't make it political. I'll ask you a direct question.
I'm not making it political.
I'll ask you a question.
You know, Arnav, I love you saying this when you. Yes.
No, my question to you is, please.
Don't make it political.
No, I'll tell you. You are a politician.
Don't make it political.
Derek O'Brien, I want you to answer, not me, but answer all the women of India who have been stalked and who have been victims of voyeurism, right? Tell them answer one question, that why you feel the definition of voyeurism and stalking is too ambiguous for it to be made a law, whereas, now 1 minute, second part of my question, whereas you are very comfortable with section 66 of the IT Act, in which terms such as grossly offensive and menacing character, which can be used even to cartoons which are published on the internet, highly subjective, can be subject to misuse, but the Trinamool Congress has no problems with that.
See, the first thing is you have 4 ladies on your program. I'm delighted. In spite of the 4 ladies there, you're directing your question to the man, so that's very good. Now,
no, I don't have any gender bias on the show.
To use the expression... okay. No, on a more serious note.
Mr. Derek O'Brien, we don't want a separate planet. We want men to walk with us.
Well, we'll see. Let's go deeper.
I love it. See, that's why I'm the only male on the show today along with Arnav. That's why I'm the only male on the show today. What to do? They ask all the other male politicians, they refuse. Okay. Let me move forward on this. This is a serious issue. Arnav, I think the first thing which there is total consensus on, because you said there's no consensus, there is total consensus on that rape should be abhorred, the guilty should be punished, and there should be a strong anti-rape law. There's no two ways about this. Now, the question is, who decides how strong is this law? So this is where everyone has to come into. Let me finish. This is where everyone has to play a role. Justice Verma committee have done a wonderful job in 21 days.
Most of which you have not implemented.
State governments. Let me finish now. No, and after that, it's a process of legislation.
Legislation.
So it has to. You have to legislate. You have to deliberate.
No, legislate to suit your interest.
Committees.
No, legislate to suit your interest. No, one second. One second.
No,
I'm pointing out here today, and all the panelists who are supporting this law, I want them to answer one simple question. Voyeurism and stalking, Renuka Chaudhary, Meenakshi Lekhi, as well as Vrinda Govar. All political parties say it's very ambiguous. We can't pass it in one go. Don't expect the world to change in one go. When ambiguity in the wording of the law does not halt people from amending the IT Act, then why this bill? Why is there an inherent bias as far as this bill is concerned? Abha wants to come in. Abha, are you satisfied with the bill?
See, IT Act, they are worried because it affects the politicians, and like it was in the Palghar girls where the 2 girls were arrested for just clicking right. So this shows that politicians want to save themselves, and here all of them are saying, what if it is misused and abused? So everybody is approaching this anti-rape bill with a negative mindset. And when it comes to stalking, you are saying first time it would be bailable. I would like to say that Section 7 of the Criminal Law Amendment Act 1932 already had made stalking non-bailable. So now when you are making first time bailable means you have watered it down. You are trying to save your skin. You are trying to save the skin of the, and because election year is next year, none of the politicians want to annoy the hooligan elements of their party who all are facing cases like this. And I think it is a political settlement which of some sorts which is being done. It is very unfair to the women of this country, and this is coming when all of the country came on India Gate in December. It is not coming as a charity from the politicians.
The question,
we have demanded it.
What? Shazia, let's get you in and then we'll open this up. The purpose of bringing a bill was to make anti-rape laws more stringent, but also to stop all kinds of sexual harassment. Now, what we find here is that the politics and concerns of politicians override the concerns of women. The concerns of politicians have badly overridden the concerns of women. So the purpose of having a legislation at the first place, isn't it totally defeated?
Well, absolutely. I think the utility of any bill or law is in its efficacy. I think the legislators and members of the cabinet have not bothered to consult with any women's group, and not just any women's group, but so many women who suffer the ignominy of, sexual assault or stalking and voyeurism. I don't think they have any idea, because if they had any idea, they would have addressed so important concerns. You have to ensure certainty of punishment. What are the various links in this whole chain? Registration of an FIR, the backlog of cases, speedier justice, the entire criminal justice system, enforcement and reorientation and gender sensitization of our police forces, special courts, special budgets for the same. None of these have been addressed. I think it was such a wasted opportunity. I don't see any of that. The entire discussion is on 16 and 18. Well, but the serious issues, this law is incomplete without police reforms, judicial reforms.
That's all right. That's another issue. We see 3 hands go up. Renuka Chaudhary, Meenakshi Lekhi, as well as Vrinda Grover want to come in. A question asked here, stalking and voyeurism. A rural woman who is in an extremely male-dominated situation, the law puts the onus on the woman. How regressive is that? That the complainant has to go to a police station and the police person puts the entire onus on her. How many women in rural India will feel that such a law actually empowers them? Come on, Meenakshi Lekhi, be fair to yourself on this situation. Don't take a political position just because your party has taken a position. Answer this to me as a woman today. Do you feel that you can put the onus on a woman? Stalking and voyeurism. Is that fair?
In which case?
No.
Stalking and voyeurism.
Okay. Let me just clarify. Let me come in. Now, stalking and voyeurism, especially with the context you are referring, a village woman who's probably going through the fields, and I would still go one step more. She's a poor woman, and she's not a sarpanch's wife or any such person. Now, will such a person even approach the police? And if such a person, we have not empowered the structure enough that such a person cannot approach the police, whereas, now allow me to complete, and let me give you the flip side of this. The flip side is the editor-in-chief does not behave himself and insists on a woman coming at 9 o'clock in the morning to the office who's reporting at 11, and he throws a file at her. She reports the matter under voyeurism or stalking against him. What do you do with such cases?
Let me give you a counter example. Whereas
that poor woman will still not go to the police. These are the flip sides of the argument. One has to apply oneself clearly, and my approach will be that these offences need to be made cognizable, they should be reportable, and there should be a diary maintained in the police station. And when any such thing happens, the person's first step should be, it has to be in a graded manner. The first step could be that report the matter and send the person for counseling. The second step could be call the parents, impose some fine. The third step could be send the person up to jail. So not everything is answered by IPC. I think one needs to be more innovative and has to have...
Well, I think there's a simple answer to your question. You are running it down, Meenakshi Lekhi. And I think you're factually incorrect here because I can give you a counter example.
I'm not running it down. I'm not running it down. I can give you 1,020 such examples.
I'll give you one example.
Every day in the court.
I'll give you one example.
And I think every answer does not lie in IPC.
I will give you one example.
One has to be more pragmatic and one has to be very clear.
Absolutely clear. And I put that question to Renuka Chaudhary. Renuka Chaudhary, remember Priyadarshini Mattu? Remember Priyadarshini Mattu? She made repeated police complaints against this man Santosh Singh for stalking her.
So
repeated police complaints
against... He should be taken in.
No, 1 sec.
That is the point I'm making.
No, but there was no law under which he could be arrested for stalking, and so it can be argued he went on to rape and murder her.
Abba Singh, is that Delhi Police Act? I'm sorry, he could be arrested under Delhi Police Act.
No. It did not happen.
There are so many cases where the stalking has led to acid throwing and there has led to raping. So if you are watering it down by saying that you give the benefit of doubt, first time you make it bailable, these are the things which are sending a wrong message. Because today we all had come together to send the message that rape is serious. We want rights for the women. This is sending a very wrong message that all the politicians just want to project a thing that everything is good. We have consented. No. It has become a political solution, not a legal solution for the rights of the women in this country.
Of course not. Of course there has to be politics to legal solutions. You can't have legal solutions without politics.
No
merit. You start making laws without the parliament.
It's a coalition dharma which is being followed. It is not the interest of the women which you are thinking today.
You just can't have one extreme or the other extreme.
How many women?
Of course I'm a woman and I've seen plenty of such cases in my life.
Sure. Then would you deny that there are so many acid attacks?
You want to hear a latest example?
Let me give you one example.
I'll tell you something. I'll give you another example. Okay, acid attack, then I'll give you a counter example.
I'm simply making a point today that, Renuka Chaudhary, acid attacks as well as rapes and murder, like the killing of Radhika Tanwar at Dholakwa, all preceded by stalking. Absolutely. Repeatedly following someone threatening males, texts, warning of acid attacks or rape and murder. That is stalking. It's a terror many women face with no remedy yet. Political parties sat together and took away the right from women to actually, follow up on this case. I want Renuka Chaudhary to answer.
I'll tell you something.
What you're saying is be happy with what we have given you. If it's not perfect, it's too bad. But this whole business of diluting stalking and voyeurism is going to be challenged by most people. I'm sure Renuka Chaudhary eventually, you too will find fault with the way this law has been passed. Brinda Grover wants to come in. I think Renuka Chaudhary couldn't hear me there. Yes, Brinda Grover, go ahead.
I want to just make one point. Maybe it's good for a news show to exaggerate what is happening and call for a breakdown of everything. We are getting stalking into the Indian Penal Code for the first time. It's not dropped from the heavens. The women's movement has asked for this offense to be introduced. It is extremely disappointing that it is being diluted. However, are you going to make the fact that is it going to be bailable or a non-bailable offense a make or break clause for the entire law?
It's about who the onus is on.
Yes, it is true. No, just a minute. This whole question of onus on complainant, I don't know what people are talking about. In every criminal offense, the onus is upon the prosecution to prove the case beyond reasonable doubt. So let's not create media hype where there is none. My third point, let me finish. Please understand that we are talking to a society and to a parliament which does not acknowledge, and we are fully cognizant of it, does not acknowledge the bodily integrity or the sexual autonomy of a woman. Women are treated unequally, discriminated against. The violence against women is a manifestation of that. So we are not shocked and we are not alarmed that this is the debate that's going on in Parliament. We are aware of it. We are saying we have pushed the debate till here. Young women have lost their lives for this law to be introduced. Would this law have come
that
in
is what,
without all this?
But Ms. Grover,
therefore, now to say
Ms.
this
Grover,
is not happening, this is the most regressive thing.
Ms. Grover, Ms. Grover, I'm sorry, but what you're saying is we should put blinkers on. I wouldn't put blinkers on because I know that Meenakshi Lekhi has been on the news. Meenakshi Lekhi.
I am saying talk about everything that is happening.
Yes, but I would...
This law is about many provisions. I do not belong to a political party. I do not have to either support or run down the government, unlike many other people on your panel.
Nobody wants to run down. We are discussing the merits, and it is not coming as a charity. We have fought for it. It was December when the government realized that 50% of the population in this country is waiting for justice. That is why it has come. They have not given it like this. And let us see, why are we going short every time? Why are we saying no, women have been like this, whatever we are getting we should accept, we will not accept this time.
And we should run down the government. We should run down the government.
No law that gives
law
that gives rights to disadvantaged or discriminated communities is ever given by a state. It is always fought for. For 30 years, the women's movement of this country has fought for this law.
So all that fighting has gone waste today.
Exactly what one is doing.
Yes, Shazia.
Which is exactly what one is doing. One is fighting for that right to be included. One is saying, one is asking the question why are legislators so interested in protecting lecherous men.
Yes, but you are not going to get everything in one law.
Women lose their lives because of voyeurism.
The Indian Parliament.
And it happens in metropolitan cities. Imagine what happens in small kasbas and townships.
Yes.
And I know two women who I met personally who've been trying to register a complaint. They're scared to get out of the houses.
All of us do this work on a regular basis.
I met them yesterday. And
we all know about this.
Delhi CM herself says that she's worried about her daughter's safety. This is the state of affairs.
Which is why you should be shocked and alarmed. Don't accept it as a fait accompli. Please be shocked. Please be alarmed. Please register your protest and make the bill strong and tough and fight for it.
Well, I only remember this
strong and tough does not. Can I just say?
No, Meenakshi, 1 minute.
Strong and tough, definitely. Strong and tough, definitely. Definite answers, definitely. At the same time, one has to be. What did you say?
No, Miss Meenakshi Lekhi, my question to you
is effective.
Effective. The question is about what is effective. Right?
Effective, absolutely.
No, 1 minute, Meenakshi.
I'll tell you what is effective. I'll tell you what, and I'll give you an example.
No, tell me today why the BJP changed its position. Because you have yourself been on the News Hour advocating the necessity of reducing the age of consent in keeping with the changing times. Your party seems to have taken a different view though. Does this mean that A, there is a huge divide in the party, B, that the party has adopted a position not in keeping with social realities, or C, that whatever is politically convenient, you are now arguing for? Your parties, the women leaders from your party like yourself have taken a different position, which is different from what you're saying now.
I'll tell you. I'll come to that.
No, first of all, has there been a change of position or not?
And my position, no, there has not been any change of position.
Oh, there has.
Because what has happened is in 2012 December, government brought prevention of sexual offences, prevention of children from sexual offences bill, and in that particular bill they brought up the age to age of 18, and I was opposing that age, and I was saying keep it in consonance with what 376 in the IPC says and make it 16. My point of view was that there are certain sexual activities between 16 and less than 21. The marriage age in this country is 18 for the girls and 21 for the boys, but prior to marriage and at a certain age there is a possibility, and you cannot criminalize every such act, and which I have been speaking about. And such effects cannot be that you make it a statutory rape and boys between that age group start going to jails. And that was the major point, and this is exactly what I was saying. Now there are 3 laws. One is the IPC, which talks about 16. There is Prevention of Children from Sexual Offences Bill, which talks about 18. There is Hindu Marriage Act and several other marriage acts, and Prevention of Child Marriage Act, which talks about 18 and 21. So there are three different ages. You
No.
have to bring a semblance of order between all the
Well,
three.
I think
Allow
what
me
you're
to
saying is
complete. This
contradictory.
slightly
And let me tell you
technical,
why.
And you need to understand.
What you're saying is contradictory.
No, it is not contradictory.
Let me tell you why.
It is not contradictory.
Let me tell you
sir.
why.
Please allow me to complete.
But
And
allow me
you
to
can
tell you
question
why.
if it is not clear. Allow me to complete. I will lose the thought. Allow me to complete. I will lose the thought. And under these circumstances, because prevention of criminalization was the major cause in reducing this age, whereas being able to produce children before 18 is against the, especially girls' physical body. And under those circumstances, decriminalization of sex below the age of 18 for girls and below the age of 21 for boys was very important. For that, a way has been found.
Please,
and the
Meenakshi
way
Lekhi,
is
what are you saying?
Make it under probation, because 16-year-old girls come to court and say, "Maang mein sindoor bhara hua hai, hamari shaadi ho gayi."
Please,
Humne nikah
Meenakshi-
kar liya. Now,
Meenakshi
you
Lekhi,
can't
what are you
allow
saying?
those marriages to exist.
Meenakshi
How do you
Lekhi-
deal with the situation?
No,
So
one
the
sec.
only way you can deal is
Meenakshi
you
Lekhi.
can deal with it is by keeping the age of consent as 18
Today-
and decriminalizing any sexual activity by making it probation.
No, Meenakshi Lekhi, please,
And under probation of
don't make it
offenders
out to be as if the age of consent has suddenly been lowered from 18 to 16. You are fully aware that the age of consent in India since
No, I'm not.
1983 has
Of
been
course.
16 years. It was raised to 18 4 months
No,
back
4 months
by the
back.
Prevention
18
of Child Sexual
18
Offences back
something.
and a month ago by the ordinance.
Absolutely
So
right.
you are wrong.
Absolutely right.
So your argument is
I'm not wrong.
has no basis.
I am not wrong. My argument is this. My argument is that age of consent till 2012 was 16, and it's only when the government brought Prevention of Sexual Offences Bill for Children, Sexual Offences Bill, only in 2013 they made it 18.
I want to
and
know.
because they made it 18, there was a contradiction.
See, you are all the most well-known women leaders of your parties. I want to know from Renuka Chaudhary, what is the problem with the whole issue of stalking and voyeurism? Can you just explain to all our viewers where political parties had a problem with stalking and voyeurism? Why did they feel it could be
It's
misused?
not just, laws are not just made for politicians, Adna. Laws are made to help set a direction for a society and to moderate youngsters and people and say that if you follow this law, you are a law-abiding citizen, and if you don't, you will be a violator of that law.
Yes.
So it's really ridiculous that you're asking us that, political parties are representatives of citizens.
Yes.
And they're given constituencies. We don't come with independent views and opinions into parliament.
No.
We have to necessarily voice what our polity says.
Yes.
And there have been certain reservations. There is a lack of understanding. There is a lack of comprehension of what exactly this means and the repercussions of that and their what.
No.
They haven't read that in stalking, in voyeurism, there's specific conditions
Stalking is
which have been addressed, that you cannot violate a woman's privacy when
Yes.
she's in a particular place. And
Yes.
we don't want to even address those issues. So there is a lack of comprehension.
No,
Adnan,
is
and we
there a-
we
is
have
there-
to
there
bring
is
it
a
to
fear-
Parliament to debate it.
Now, is there a fear?
There is no conscious need for the government or anyone else, any other political party, to deliberately subvert this.
No,
There
tell
isn't.
me.
Really, we shouldn't be accusing.
No,
of-
Miss Chaudhary,
Now.
Miss Chaudhary, I just want to follow up with
Can
you.
I
have
bring
been
in
informed,
some
and I have
information?
been informed. I just want to ask Miss Chaudhary. I have been informed by several political leaders I spoke to that Arnab, there is a problem we have with voyeurism and stalking. We believe this can be misused. Anybody can accuse anybody of voyeurism and stalking.
Every law can be misused.
Right? So then,
Every
So, Ms.
law
Chaudhary-
can be misused.
Yes.
Are you saying it's not being misused?
Yes.
We have dowry laws which are misused.
Yes.
You have
Already-
income tax laws which are the traffic laws which
Yes.
are abused every day.
Yes.
And that, yes.
Yes.
I consider it a ridiculous excuse. And saying that women will misuse it, I don't know the
Then why-
percentage of
why
what
are
is
you then going
misused
along with it?
against women is a gazillion times more. Because when you bring a law, you have to carry everyone with it.
No,
There's no point bringing a law where no one else is going to adhere to it or accept it.
No,
That is
Miss-
the principle
no,
of democracy,
No, you see,
Arnab.
No, no.
We can't use brute force and say, we are steamrolling you and you have to concede.
Ms.
We are
Chaudhary.
appreciative that they've come on board of different aspects.
Yes.
And that we are able to actually bring this law into place. This legislation will come into place,
No,
which
why-
is going to be of huge help. It's open to debate.
No.
And then it is always open to correction. There's always a provision to change if we need be.
But
you
Ms.
can't
Ms.
have
Chaudhary,
everything gift wrapped and
no,
tied
it's
up
not
and
gift
brought
wrap.
at this point.
It's not gift wrap. You know, the whole business of a private act is adequately explained with respect to voyeurism and stalking and has provisos on what does not amount to stalking. Today, everyone's
I want to
no.
something.
Today, everyone's asking what happened. What happened to December?
On table?
Where did December go? Outrage
Arnab,
in
can I
December,
suggest something?
compromise in March.
Yes,
That's the point, Derek.
The
outrage in December
was
no,
not
let me
about stalking
bring
and
in that part.
voyeurism.
Well, but
It
when Justice Verma,
That was about-
when Justice Verma made his committee proposals public, which also included, by the way, barring politicians facing sexual offence charges from contesting elections, making marital rape an offence.
I think it's brilliant.
So you think it's brilliant, Renuka Chaudhary? Then why didn't it happen?
Yes. Because this is what I've just spelt out, Arnab. This is a democracy.
Oh, no.
It's not Renuka-cracy that I can run the show as
In
I
the
want.
name of democracy, you cannot
You
have
have
this.
to take
See,
the
democracy
view of
doesn't
people.
mean that women, politicians who are facing criminal charges of rape, molestation are sitting in the parliament.
Oh, no.
That is not democracy. The rule of law has to be same for all. You
There
cannot
are
have parliamentary
financial
privilege for
offenders
them.
who are sitting in
Already
parliament.
211
There are other
IPC is there for
scammers who are
stopping
sitting in
misuse.
parliament.
If women misuse
You
the
can't
sexual
question the
harassment.
people who've elected them to this. So, you know.
Or no.
Even if people have
No one's
elected, there is
talking
the law of
about,
the land which should
condoning
punish
people
them.
with sexual.
Or no.
Can I
discuss the general topic, or are we coming to specific?
Or
No. One sec. Let's see, I am not here to find fault. First of all, Brinda Grover says, oh, it's good for a media debate to find fault. I'm not interested in finding fault. But if you, Brinda Grover, look back at what was promised in January, the expectation that has been raised, then you two would agree, and Derek O'Brien, you two would agree that what we are coming up with today is perhaps a quarter of what was promised or expected in January. Derek?
Yeah.
Yes, Derek. No, let Derek come in.
No, I don't agree with that.
Yes, Derek.
Or no, if there was a serious law on gender discrimination, you would have gone to jail for your performance today for 7 years. Because for the last 30 minutes, and I'm not grudging you this, I'm glad you enjoyed it. You had a wonderful conversation with 5 intelligent ladies
God,
without
Derek, come
showing
on.
the courtesy of coming to your, sixth panelist. So please continue the discussion. I'm listeing very intently.
Please
and I'm
continue,
sorry. Please
Derek.
carry on.
I have no gender bias on the program, neither on the program or in real life. No,
The viewers have seen, or no, the viewers have seen it. I haven't
Let's
seen.
continue the conversation, Arnab.
One minute. Yes.
I have lots to contribute on 18 to 16. Let me tell you what we have to contribute. We have a lot to contribute. We also think this law is being rushed through. We also think this law is, so don't be so presumptuous by telling
Arnab,
us
I'd
we have
like to
nothing to
come in here.
contribute.
Right
We will
after Derek, I will come to you,
We will
Vrinda.
contribute on the floor of Parliament. We will contribute on the floor of Parliament if we were not allowed our 35 minutes today. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha and the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha will give us our due time.
No,
Go
Derek
ahead.
O'Brien, you know, Vrinda Grover has said right at the start of the show, something is better than nothing. We have made many steps forward. Are you saying what you are only to make a point? I want you to respond to Vrinda. Yes, Derek.
No, or no. I mean, you need to really introspect. You're giving us big lectures to politicians about how we should make strong anti-rape laws, and in a simple program like yours, you leave somebody out for 30 minutes.
Derek,
that is
please.
discrimination.
Derek, please.
What is a more serious issue?
Derek, please
I
respond to Vrinda. You know, thank you.
Please, time,
Broaden up the
Derek,
debate.
please
Broaden up the debate.
contribute something to
Broaden
this.
up the debate, or no? Broaden up the debate. The solution, we all want the harshest punishment for rape, for people who rape, but the one law is not going to be the only solution. The base of the pyramid, as Justice Verma himself says, is next time you see a woman, every woman, perhaps, I don't know, every woman, or at least the women I know at some point, have been touched wrongly in a bus, It needs to start there. The solution has to be found there. Not only throwing bricks at politicians and saying politicians
No, sorry, but if a woman is being stalked on a bus, what's the answer now? If a woman's being stalked on a bus, Derek, what's the answer now?
Yes. Good question, Arnab. I think this is where the awareness is required. If I see a woman,
it is bailable.
Yeah, Derek, go on.
Second attempt is 5 years.
There are two quick points. Arnab, I myself as a 13-year-old schoolboy have been molested in a bus, but I'll tell you that story later. That was scary. If somebody is stalked in a bus, more than the law, the 50 passengers must not sit there quietly. They need to stand up, they need to change, they need to protest, they need to throw that guy off the bus first and stop the bus. That's where the change is needed. Law is all very good, but we need to change, all of us change, and not try blaming each other.
No, I don't understand your point because you didn't answer my question. Do you have one single point besides complaining about my gender bias to respond to what Vrinda says, that some law is better than no law? Or is the Trinamool Congress in such a sulk with the UPA that anything the UPA does, you'll find fault with it for the sake of it?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The law, there was an all-party meeting held today. There are where different parties have given their suggestions in. We have our own views in terms of how this could have been handled better, and has it been rushed through? Has everyone been taken on board? That's the first thing I told you.
Vrinda,
let us have a good law.
Vrinda, he's talking about being rushed through for the third time. Vrinda Grover is responding to you. Vrinda to Derek O'Brien.
Yes. I want us to just know this very, very categorically. These issues have not emerged on December 16th. We have been raising these issues. We have been engaging with political parties across the board. Everybody who has come to power in the center has been asked by women's groups to change the law. So there is nothing hurried about it. So let's not drag our feet again in this session of parliament by saying, oh my God, we are rushing it through. Stalking has not happened.
Nobody is dragging their feet.
May I finish, please, sir?
Please.
May I finish without interruption, because I will not even get time. We are not in parliament. You will also speak in parliament.
Go on, Vrinda.
Please,
thank you.
Please.
We understand what is important today is that for the first time the penal code will at least recognize, send the signal out, make a clear normative statement that stalking is a prohibited conduct. It is extremely unfortunate if it is being made bailable. And all those who want strong laws need to understand strong laws mean non-bailable. That's not happening. Everybody is saying strict law, strong law, and then dilutes the law. That's very unfortunate. The second thing I think we need to clearly remember here is that there are many things happening simultaneously. The fact that women are not in parliament, the fact that women's views are not there in parliament, we are seeing the consequences of this. We know that we are not going to get the best law.
Sure.
It's not for no reason that the women's reservation bill doesn't get passed.
But Vrinda Grover, Vrinda Grover, why would a feisty...
No, Arnab, I've been sitting very quietly. Please let me finish.
I have a question for you.
Let me finish. Yes, just let me finish this. I will answer your question. Those parties like the BJP, who is saying they wanted strong laws, they're being made to come to a consensus. You are in power in different state governments. The criminal law can always be amended by the state government. Let's see within the next 6 months. Let's see these political parties stand up to their word, amend the law in your state, make it non-bailable.
That's a straight challenge to Meenakshi Lekhi.
Tell her something.
That's a straight challenge to Meenakshi Lekhi. Please respond. I had a question for Vrinda Grover that will come later.
Let me tell her. Let me tell her that Madhya Pradesh has got a law which I think rest of the states
and parading a woman naked.
Central government, and the law proposed by you. Yes, and that is 10 years of imprisonment, unlike any other state. That is number one. Number two, when you talk about strict laws, but strict laws do not conform to the societal norms. When you recognize the sexual activity between the age of 16 and 18 for girls and less than 21 for boys, that will not happen without boys chasing the girls. And you want to put every such boy for stalking inside the jail will not be the answer.
No,
first offense has to be now for that reason. I am not misrepresenting. Have the gumption of listening to others without interrupting them. And as you demand from others, please show the same respect to the others also. No, I'm not misrepresenting. It is you who's doing that. Now, once you recognize sexual activity between the age of 16 to less than 21, you have to recognize that boys are chasing girls at that age. And not every boy can be put behind bars for the first offense. So you have to make it bailable, give them warning, and if they repeat the act, make it 5 years imprisonment and make it non-bailable. So that is what the law has been brought, that first offense, 3 years imprisonment and bailable, but if the offender is found again,
let
it
her
is 5
respond
years
and then I have
and
a question for
non-bailable.
Renuka Chaudhary.
And there has to be a record in the police station.
No.
Let her respond, then I have a question for Renuka Chaudhary.
No. Yes, Ms. Lekhi, my proposition is not even for the first time should the young boy be sent on probation. Between 16 to 18,
let me tell you something, madam. Let me tell you something, miss.
Between 16 to 18, let us have a young person's defense. Decriminalize consensual sexual assault between young persons. We do not want to send any young boy to jail for consensual sexual assault.
Why could there not be? I wonder, Meenakshi Lekhi and...
We were asking for 16.
One second, we are getting very detailed. We are getting very detailed.
Arnab, allow me to settle it.
1 minute.
Allow me to settle it. Allow me to settle it for the day. At least we would have arrived at some conclusion. Now, between 16 and 18, or between 16 and less than 21, boys and girls are engaging in activities which are close to sexual or sexual nature. That is not happening without girls and boys chasing each other. We don't want girl's father to make a complaint against the boy and send him up for jail for stalking the girl. And that is exactly what will happen on the first offense.
Meenakshi Lekhi and Vrinda Grover.
You know, we can. Different, madam. If the boy is chasing the girl up to her house, is talking.
Yes, Meenakshi Lekhi.
And he has to be sent up for jail.
Yes, Meenakshi Lekhi. Meenakshi Lekhi and Vrinda Grover. I am simply asking one question today.
A girl would be consenting to it. How do you know? You are giving her the authority to consent for social activity, not for stalking.
No.
What are you talking?
May I please come in?
Arnab.
May I please come in? My only question here is that I don't know why all this could not have been gone into detail. Very simple. All this you could have gone into detail and either had it or not had it in this present law. Rather than say here today, be happy you got with what you got and don't ask for the moon. Renuka Chaudhary, I have another question for you. You've been listening very patiently. My question to you is, Renuka Chaudhary, a lot of our viewers want us to ask you a question. And this question is this, that they say that Renuka Chaudhary has been the most feisty defendant of women's rights, to the point to which she is not even sometimes scared of telling off people from her own party when it comes to gender rights. What is Renuka Chaudhary's answer to a basic question that there was a proposal of Justice Verma that politicians facing sexual offences charges should be banned from contesting elections?
I was coming to that.
Yeah? What happened to that?
I just said it was brilliant.
But what happened to that?
It will come about. It will come about. It may not come up on your show, Arnab, but it is, well, if we are not going to give you the whens and what ifs, it will happen and you'll know about it. And then we'll debate it on your TV again.
But people are impatient, Renuka Chaudhary, like I'm sure you are.
Learn a little patience.
I assure you.
Well, legislations take time and you have to be able to appreciate that.
Debarring politicians from entering Vidhan Sabhas and Lok Sabhas and even fighting corporation elections, municipal corporation elections, believe me, the law would have been different. There would have been faster courts. There would have been speedier justice. This was a Rosa Parks moment. People got together. For the first time, the male-female equation was being challenged. And we saw patriarchal politics rear its ugly head.
What you're saying... Shazia, 1 minute. Let Renuka respond.
I really don't have time for. You know this kind of, if politicians stop talking rubbish without even understanding. I'm telling the young lady who's going on quantifying and trying to get 2 pies business.
No, Renuka Chaudhary, the suggestion...
No one's denying the importance of please, ask me a question and let me tell you.
I'm asking you a question.
Individually and as a party, we have zero tolerance for such things. However, much as we want to, we cannot indulge ourselves. There has to be a process by which this will come about. And I am telling you, it will come about. Willy-nilly, it will come about. In the meantime, it will help if we didn't have people sitting and simply bashing all politicians. I resent that. I'm a politician. I don't accept such behavior. And I don't think I will sit quiet when the time is there for legislation. So let's move about positively instead of trying to get two pies publicity, getting onto panels and talking like this.
Now, one sec. We see, we have different points of view.
Generalizations.
Different. We have Renuka Chaudhary. We have a lot of people have right to have different points of view. My idea was to get this debated. There is one section which says what we've done is good enough. There is another section which is restless and which says...
No one's saying it's good enough.
No. A lot of people are saying it's good enough for the moment. Others are saying this was not what was promised in December.
They're saying it's a beginning.
They're saying it's a beginning. Many people are not happy with the beginning. I thank each and every one of you.
What do you want? Put it into the cold...
Not at all. Not at all put it in the cold storage. But we've had a good debate. I hope it gets followed.
I only want to urge all political parties present here to please make sure that this bill passes through Parliament in this session and it's not dragged through the coals like we've seen of other bills like women's reservation.
Let's see where it goes.
Now that it is watered down,
I agree with the lady.
There's nothing to think thoughts about it.
Okay.
Now that it is watered down, it will be cleared.
To all the panelists this evening, thank you very much for taking part.
Guess who was protesting?
Thanks for taking part on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.